Hello. So welcome to another live session. This is a series of sessions that I'm doing, just a 15-minute chat with some of the people that I follow on Instagram. So today I am hoping to chat to Leo from the Clean Slate Company. So I'm just going to wait for him to join in and join us. But Leo has a quarry in the States, and yes, he provides slate for mosaic artists, and really interested in having a chat to find out a bit more about that. So lots of people are joining, which is good to see. Hello everybody. And let me just see if I can find Leo. Let's see. I think that's us. Hey, Leo.
Hello.
How you doing?
Howdy from America.
Good to see you.
It's great to finally talk to you.
Yeah, it is. We've had a few kind of conversations over kind of on messages and stuff, but nice to see you in person. So you're at your quarry. Is that you're at the lake of the quarry in the background?
Here it is.
Fantastic.
This is the Welsh dug this a couple hundred years ago.
Okay, cool. So we want to hear more about your quarry. So
I got a
ahead.
rock here. I'm gonna try my best American baseball here for you. You can see a little context. It goes all the way up.
Pretty far.
It's a 3-acre lake. The actual lake itself is 3 acres. So it goes all the way around the corner, and it is where we get our rocks from.
Cool. Oh, I'm so excited to see it.
Let me start off by saying thank you very much for everything you've done over the past couple of years and introducing me into the mosaic community. It's been overwhelming. It's great to be in touch with artists and the things that you do, you personally, and watching other artists grow using our stones. It's been inspirational at very least. So I appreciate you very much.
Oh, you're very welcome. I mean, and it's a two-way thing because, again, for those that don't know, sort of Leo provides slate for a lot of mosaic artists. And when I started teaching, particularly when I took my teaching practice online, a lot of people from the States were asking, where do I get slate? And I'm like, well, I'm in the UK. I don't want to ship all my slate, out. It's heavy stuff. So finding you, I can't even remember how I found you or came across you.
I think we came across on Instagram.
Yeah, that it happened. Yeah, so somewhere on Instagram I found you, and things just went from there. So tell us for those that don't know you, because I know there will be some mosaic artists who are familiar with you, who've ordered slate from you, but there'll be people here that don't. So tell us a little bit about yourself and your quarry.
This is kind of a historic property back here. This is one of the abandoned slate quarries from back in. They got abandoned. They stopped using slate in the 1920s. But this quarry specifically was started by two Welsh brothers in the 1700s, I believe 1750 area. And the first use of slate for roofing tiles came from this area. So the post on is actually of the building that actually has the first slate roof in America. Is right down this road. So those two brothers started digging this with a digging pole and a wheelbarrow in the 1700s, and here we are a few hundred years later, and I'm doing similar, trying to keep true to that.
Doing a lot by hand still, yeah. And I know some people are asking whereabouts in the States you are, because we didn't actually mention that.
This whole area would be considered, I guess, Peach Bottom Slate. We're on the border of Maryland and Pennsylvania, so northern Maryland is where we're at, but the Slate Ridge actually runs all the way into Pennsylvania.
Okay,
so,
cool.
I don't know if you can even see, but the context, I've been learning a little bit about the geology, and thanks for connecting me with that person with geology. But if you can see, the slate actually, due to some sort of underground volcanic activity 500 million years ago of some sort, it moved the layer of the slate like that, so it got closer to the surface, and that's why it could be mined from this area.
Brilliant. So how did you end up with the quarry? How did you end up where you are? Because
lucky Irish,
unique position.
It's actually my private property. I I built a cabin up on the top there, looking into the water. I'm originally I'm an artist as well. I'm a writer, director. I was directing theater, pre-COVID times. So I built this place up here as my Hemingway writing cabin, essentially.
Oh,
but
okay.
but due to COVID, everything in that creative world and in film and television and theater kind of went cold, and my side hustle of selling the slate turned into primary. So
Okay.
it was great to kind of get into the earth and work with my hands. So
Yeah,
that's
which is what you do. So tell people a little bit, because you do a lot. You I've seen your videos where you're out with your hammer and chisel and cutting up these great big slabs of slates. Tell us a bit more about that.
It's not as arduous as it seems. I mean, I'm a pretty fairly fit guy, so I can carry a lot of it out. But I've done everything here, every rock that I've sent, and I've actually sent, at this point now, thousands of boxes out. Everything that I've done, I've gathered by hand. I've used nothing but a wheelbarrow and the hammer and the chisel. And I recently, thanks to the mosaic artist, I got to upgrade it to a tile saw so I can cut the
yeah,
the rods.
we're talking about that. Yeah.
So now I'm post-industrial era now. I'm moving my way up.
Got some machines there.
I got a machine now. But yeah, everything here was done by horse and cart and cable. So
you go out and I mean, are there particular sections that you kind of think, that you go for your slate, or I'll get some nice stuff from there, or how? I mean, obviously you've got a big area to.
Yeah, there's primarily 3 main spots that I go to for the mosaic stone specifically. You guys like the rust color. You like the color.
Oh, we like the rusty colors in the slate. Yeah.
So in learning about that, that's got to be closer to the surface. So it's got to be oxidized a bit. So the stuff that's kind of buried in there are the darker gray slate, which is essentially old tiles stacked up. That's the reptile listings that I find the darker slate. But the mosaic
reptile area, and then the mosaic area.
The mosaic area I actually get from right around here, right actually by the quarry, because that's the best place where, the color, it's the most colorful. And there's actually some quartz coming out of here as well. So I kind of, I said that I kind of throw a piece of quartz in every now and again to some of the artists. Because that centerpiece that you did, putting that piece of quartz in the middle, was absolutely brilliant.
That's lovely. Yeah, Leah sent me like a box of rocks of slate, because when I started teaching my online class, I wanted to kind of try the slate out before I kind of said to students, go buy a slate. And Leah sent me a box of slate, and with it was some kind of quartz crystal stuff as well. It's just lovely colors in it. It's really nice. Yeah, I've still got a little bit to use in other projects.
You've got another box coming your way. A lot of those videos that I showed earlier this week, some of them special stones, they're coming your way.
Yay! I love getting boxes of rocks in mail.
Yeah, and learning more about the geology is kind of interesting to see, like how much metal and what kind of different things are inside of each one of these stones. Like I said, the Welsh did the majority of the labor digging this out and stacking it all around the quarry for me. But it is 500 million years worth of evolution, or geological evolution to do this. So there's a lot of pre-work for me. Yeah.
Are you learning more about the geology as you kind of go through? Sort of
I'm a sage historian with the Welsh miners and geology at this point, but only specific to this area. As far as the slate, like the main piles that I picked. So our slate from this quarry was the Proctor's Quarry, and back in the 1800s, the slate was deemed in the 1850s World Fair in England as the best slate in the world. Mm-hmm. And the reason why it was the best slate in the world is because the piles that are all around here is called the rubble pile. They only took the top 20% of the slate and used it as roofing tiles. And I think it was because of softness reasons and manageability of splitting. So 80% of the labor that was put here, that was dug by horse and cart and hands, is essentially the rubble pile, which is piled all around here.
And then you can harvest from that too.
And that's exactly what I'm getting. Like a lot of the stuff, you can tell where the old Welsh slate splitters, all their mistakes. There's like a pile of just tiles that got a chip off the edge or something like this. So it's kind of neat to kind of be like, I feel like I'm sitting, where somebody was a few hundred years ago.
Cool. So do you have like a pile of stock as such that like when people order, or do you kind of go out and mine on demand or some quarry on
Kind
demand?
of, yeah,
Do you?
kind of gather on demand. To be honest, I do it. I gather it in the beginning of the week, and then I try to print out all my shipping labels and try to make my week.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
sort of batch
Right.
it up so that yeah.
Because it's really right here, so it's not. I just have to get it back to my workshop and trim
And
them up.
is it as we're heading into kind of winter? I mean, is it seasonal? Do you like when it gets cold? Can you still go out and split it and bring it back, or
I'm sorry. Did I lose you a second? Okay, there you go. I'm sorry.
you're still there.
Okay. I'm sorry, I missed you. They cut off.
No, I was just
screensaver.
asking if it's a seasonal thing, like when the weather gets worse and it gets into winter, are you still out there chipping out stones? Or
Yeah, I'm out here.
yeah. Because we make mosaics all year round, So.
Yeah, I gather all year round too. Like I said, I've primarily been doing this during the past couple of years, post COVID.
Yeah.
So I got 3 sons; they need to eat. So that's we got to get out there and get the rocks. But
yeah.
So I do it all year round.
Yeah, and I mean, we were talking earlier. You have adapted to the mosaic community because once the word starts getting out, the slate is lovely for using in mosaic, and you've just started doing rods as well. Is that right? You've got your tile saw. How's that going?
Yeah, there was a little bit of a learning curve there of how to cut the rods to your specifications, and the first ones I sent, I guess they were a little too thick. I'm kind of always, since I have so much, if it's a 10-pound box, nobody's ever gotten the amount. They've always gotten more. I always kind of stuff a little bit extra. I always throw them extra. So I guess I thought more slate rods in size would be better. But then I got a few comments about it, and then me and my sons actually did a few of your mosaics off of our sage knowledge of watching you. And then I saw about the little snippers, and I was like, it's got to be that width.
So we can get the nippers around
in there.
Yeah.
And then I reduced it in size and figured out. I'm hoping that they've been working out. We sold quite a bit.
Excellent.
Yeah.
That's good to hear. All these people making mosaics.
Yeah. And to watch the learning curve from a few years ago when your classes were on the Mosaic Artist Online thing. And I follow a lot of the people that have been, I guess, practicing.
Yeah.
And the learning curve, like it's, from the beginning to now, it's always impressive to see how it's improved, with everybody, then that's the journey of the artist, right? The first 20
it's lovely to see sort of, folk that I've taught, even sort of 2-3 years ago, to see them then embrace those learnings and just kind of run with it and do their own thing with it. And
improve, as an artist, it's amazing to see, because that is the journey. Your first 20 are junk, they're like, that's just learning the craft, and then you start to be able to find your own voice in there. That's just great to see. I love sharing them. I love when people send me the pictures of the things that they did. It's it's great.
So what plans do you have to kind of for the future? Are you going to continue with the quarry and the slate, or are you back to writing and things, or a bit of a mix? Or
I mean, this is now my primary. I know I continue to to write a lot. I always write, so that's kind of just part of who I am.
Yeah.
Just I feel like art found me here. I mean, so I'm gonna go. You get with the mosaics, it's like I kind of thought at first it was like things were not working out, and COVID happened, and then I found an artist community in the rocks. So it was kind of a good boost that I needed. So this I will continue to do this for sure, because this is more gratifying than anything I've ever done.
Yeah. And thoughts. I was just thinking when I was getting ready to chat to you. What about sort of thoughts on having artists visit you to kind of look for slate? Is that something that would be an option in the future if people wanted to kind of come and forage for slate or get some slate and then do some art or something with it? Is that
the Ruins project is amazing, isn't it? The Ruins project that the coal miners. I feel like akin to that that idea of that there was an incredible amount of labor put in. This is an American success story, essentially by way of Wales, is what I say. But you've got to appreciate the amount of work that was put into this place, and it is part of history. So I think maybe when I retire, there will be, I see some places I think it would be great to have a big mosaic of some artist to come here and do some, I don't know, just walks through the woods is pretty awesome as well.
Yeah.
But right now, like I said, it's just, it's just a private residence. So, I'm kind of a hermit in that point. I like that. I grew up in Philadelphia in the inner city, so I didn't have a backyard. So
you got a big backyard now.
I'm enjoying the peace. Right, exactly.
Yeah. Oh, I bet. No, it looks fantastic. I see the videos and pictures that you post of just being in the quarry and cutting up the rocks and things. It just, it looks great. So.
Makes for a good story in the end.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. And I'd say one of the things that's good to know, like when you're using rocks and stones and things in mosaic, it's always good to know kind of where they've come from and the history behind them, because it just adds to the story of the piece that you're making as well. So knowing that kind of history about the quarry and where the slates come from, that just kind of adds into it as well. So
I plan on shooting a pseudo documentary personally about the Welsh, and I have some pretty good footage. So I'm probably going to come out of my shell a little bit here and kind of start, telling people how this is and how much. I always say the quarry is the perfect combination of nature's beauty and man's ability, and this is a testament to that. So it's people need to know more about it, I think.
Oh, definitely. Oh, I'll definitely look out for that. Yeah. Oh, I think it's an interesting story to share and to tell. But listen, we're at our 15 minutes. We've just been chatting, and it's flown by. So before we finish up, just tell people where to find you and where the best places are if they want to get hold of your slate, if they want to follow you on various, because I think you're on TikTok and Pinterest, you're all over the place.
Video marketing is the way to go for small businesses. I suggest everybody. I've seen some of your artists actually starting to get on Etsy and things of that as well. I say go on Etsy, get on Pinterest, make some videos about your art. The pictures are kind of dying off. People like to see, moving pictures. So, shoot that as well. But as far as us, we're the cleanslatecompany.org. I'm going to look into be able to ship some internationally. I think I might be able to do it off the website. Etsy has been the best community, and that's the Clean Slate Company as well. On Etsy. So, Etsy has been really good to us, and, Pinterest and Instagram and things like that. We're around.
You're around. You'll be folk will be able to find you. Yeah. Brilliant. Well, thank you so much for coming and for being in the quarry and just showing us a little bit of it as well. It's been really interesting to talk to you and just hear about the history of it and what you're up to and how that business has developed as well. So
thank you very much.
You're very welcome.
And your art is amazing. It's beautiful. I love to keep saying it.
Okay, well, so thanks for joining us. Thanks to everybody who's been watching as well, and we'll see you again another time.
Take care.
Okay, thanks then. Bye bye.